Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Jordan with Heartland Reptiles. Today we're going to go over Eve and Baraka's clutch and look at those. But first we're going to check out the Indo Caramel tigers and possibly sun tiger that I got for future breeding projects. Stick around because we're going to get into the babies from this beautiful boy. Hope everybody had a safe and fun 4th of July celebrating with family and friends. That's what it's all about. Animals, family, and friends. Stick around. We're going to have some fun today. Before we jump into the video, I realized I left out, frankly, one of the most important details. Captain Hindsight struck again. So, what's so important about Eve and Baraka's clutch? I've mentioned that it's a Super Maluku, which is a Ternate Kalaotoa cross, but one thing that I didn't really mention in previous videos is, to my knowledge, Eve's clutch is one of only 2 from a Super Maluku in the whole country. The other clutch is with a dear friend, Rob Roush, Island Morphs. If you're not aware of Rob, definitely go check him out. Tons of information, incredibly helpful guy. But Rob got 3 eggs and 3 babies. Eve gave us 14 and 14 babies. So that means, to my knowledge and Rob's knowledge, in the entire United States, there are a total of 17 babies from a Super Maluku parent. 14 of the 17 are here in this video. So while I'm very calm and quiet during the video, that's for the benefit of the babies. I don't want to, be loud and boisterous and scare them. They're very new and fresh. I want them to settle in and be calm. But this is incredibly exciting and frankly a huge deal for myself, Heartland Reptiles, Eve, and I think for the dwarf and super dwarf cross community as a whole. So it's a very exciting clutch, very important to me personally, but it's also important for you guys to understand that these 14 babies are 14 of 17 from a Super Maluku parent in all of the US. There very well could be some over in Asia and stuff like that. That's probably more likely, but I haven't researched that. I know the US market. So wanted everybody to be aware of that and frankly why this clutch is so important and so exciting. Now that we've got the important details ironed out, let's get into all the animals. Thanks, guys. All right, so this little guy is who I'm really excited to have here in the collection. This is an Indo Caramel tiger. And I have been looking for a good example of Indo that I could work with in order to produce orange glows for probably 3 or 4 years. And the only reason I haven't got one is they were either, $4,000 or $5,000, and frankly, they were very pretty, but not $4,000 or $5,000 pretty until I found these. And if you look how thick that dark part is, that pattern outline, he is just stunning. Absolutely beautiful. I love the 3 little dots. You're okay, buddy. 3 little dots on his head, or on his neck rather, right there. He is just a super pretty example of an Indo tiger. Super excited to get this guy, and believe it or not, this beautiful animal was the I couldn't pass up animal. The male we're going to look at after him, believe it or not, is even prettier. But the reason that I went with this male is he's still gorgeous, obviously, and there is nothing negative about him. The other's pattern is just so perfect that frankly it's amazing. And the goal with him now is we will be working with Indo Caramel projects like this, as well as creating orange glow. And so orange glow is when you combine Clark strain albino with Indo Caramel, you get an orange glow animal. But what's exciting is how thick his blacks are. They're not really black, but how thick that black is just gorgeous and will work really well in some of the other projects where I'm trying to really thicken up the animal's borders. So yeah, as far as a, for lack of a better term, secondary animal, he is just absolutely beautiful. He's about 3 months old, produced by Rodney Bullock. Very, very, very pretty example of an Indo Caramel. When you wait for 3 or 4 years and you see this one and the one we're going to look at next, they were both just too pretty to let go. And so I had to jump on them. They're both going to do some amazing things as they get older here at Heartland Reptiles. And we have, not only do we have Indo Caramel and Orange Glow projects, now with these two different males we can take them in two different directions. This guy is intended to be used mainly for those really thick blacks that he's got. So we're going to let him go hang out, chill back out, and we'll get out the other one. Oh, neither of these males have names yet, so if you guys want to throw out name suggestions, put them down in the comments below. I was playing with the idea of Murtaugh and Riggs from Die Hard, a little bit of homage paid to some of my dear friends that are not in the snake world. But yeah, if anybody has name ideas, please throw them down in the suggestions, or the comments rather, and we'll get male number 2. And this is the second Indo Caramel tiger, possibly Sunfire. Rodney wasn't sure. To me, he looks awfully Sunfire the way that tail pattern changes, but the pattern on this male is so perfect that it just blew me away. I would have done some outside stuff with him. It's just so hot out. They're young. And I'm going to use them as an excuse that I didn't want to be outside. So that's why we're inside using the little photo booth. Try and show them off. But come here, buddy. But when you look at this kind of pattern, I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. It's basically just flawless as far as I'm concerned. I've had some people say it even looks like some Jags that they have. I'm a little biased. I don't have any intention of working with Jag. I'm not sure about the potential wobble that Jag doesn't, may or may not have. But I just I don't know that it's worth working with it for me, especially when I can have an animal that is this stunning without jaguar in it. This is the male that I just, when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, that's the one for sure. His pattern is just so perfect. I couldn't let this guy go. The other one I couldn't let go because of that thick black. The other one's got some thicker black, but it's a little less clean and crisp. For those that know me and what I love clean, crisp, stark contrast, which this guy definitely fits the bill. He is an absolute beauty. Just amazing pattern and color on this guy. Looks like orange sherbet. And this one needs a name too, so if anybody has name ideas, throw them down in the comments. I'm pretty bad at names. I usually end up letting friends and family name the animals anyway. And it makes it fun for me. It makes me think of those friends and family whenever I'm working with the animal. Look at that, down the tail. Just perfect spots. Nice, clean, crisp pattern. Belly pattern pulls up towards the rosettes, down like his whole body length. Need to get meal in them. They've kind of settled in. We're going to offer them both food now, later today or tomorrow. So we'll get them all squared away. but wanted Indo for years and years, and finally found the examples that I like, and man, was it ever worth the wait. Weren't you, buddy? Just gorgeous animals. And so these are going to be real quick little viewings because these are very new, fresh babies. These are Eve's babies, and they are very pretty as well. Like I said, we're going to be real brief with this. These are Eve's babies. Really pretty. A little bit squirmy. They're still very fresh. Just out of egg skin the last few days, so going to be brief, but wanted to show everybody Eve's babies that are not yet for sale, but some of them will be. Here is another one. And the thickness of the black in this is super pretty around those rosettes. It's not showing very well. He's not fired up, but the deepness of colors, it's like a rust coppery brown. Super, super pretty animal. Another little baby. Baby boy. Or girl, I don't know. Look at those eyes. Look how pretty those eyes are. There, we got some little bit better view of the pattern as he passes by. Really happy with how thick those blacks turned out on it, as well as some of the other siblings. Here's another one. Look how pretty this tiger is. A little bit of rub from shedding that egg skin, but one thing that's really cool about this clutch is Eve is an Anery Platinum Sunfire, and we didn't know that she had tiger until these babies came out. Look at that tail. Nice thick blacks. This one's, you know, the big bad scary man's messing with him. A little bit defensive. Just adorable little babies. Aren't you? You're a cute little one. Here's another really pretty tiger. Got that nice pretty stripe down the back. Nice high rosette and saddle count. Pretty tail. And they're on the move. It's hard to film mobile noodles. Kind of see that pretty coloration, and it's almost like pixelation. So for those that like the pixelated look, there's some of that as well. Now here's something different. Look how much lighter this is. I believe that this is a platinum tiger. Maybe platinum sun tiger. But look how much black has been reduced out of this. Not only on the back stripe, it's much more pixelated. It doesn't have those stark border lines, and even around the rosettes, it's just a really fine line. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but you can see a little bit of silver flaming trying to come through. This guy might, I don't know. There's potential for anery. They're so new. Gonna wait for him to color up, but this is a good example of some contrast and difference from one animal to another within the same clutch. You're okay, little one. I just love the variability in this clutch. There's something for everybody's preferences, something for everybody's style. But this, as it colors up after a few sheds, is going to be really, really pretty. I'm a big fan of the yellows, bright colors, so Excited to see what this little one looks like. You're so cute. Look at that little face. You're adorable. Here's really pretty. Look how thick for a little baby, especially with dwarf and super dwarf, 75% dwarf and super dwarf bloodline, to have these kind of thick blacks around the rosettes and on the dorsal pattern. That was the whole goal with this clutch, is how do I get thick stark borders from dwarf and super dwarf localities? And the answer for me was to bring in Ternate influence. Super happy with how these turned out. Again, the colors don't show as well as they will in natural sunlight or as they age. These guys haven't even had their first meal yet, but you can kind of see when you get the tail next to it how it starts to fire up. So this guy's a sunfire. Super pretty. As he gets older, these blacks are really gonna pop against that contrast. So really excited to see how these guys grow and color up and age like fine wine. Got some nice silver flames there on the side between the rosettes. Already climbing me like a tree, aren't you? None of these are for sale yet, and some of them may never be for sale. The high rosette count on this little guy or girl is pretty phenomenal. Tons of back saddles. Really pretty color for how young they are. Beautiful sunfire. Aren't you? Just look at that though. Nice thick black above and below the rosettes. You can see some silver flames that are going to come through in between the rosettes. Just beautiful. I think this might be the one that was pretty much a standout even in the egg. You're going to be very pretty, aren't you, little one? They're all pretty, but man, do a select few really stand out. It's just stunning. That rosette count is unreal. Here's another. Look at those oranges. For a baby that's only had, the only shed he's had, or she, has been the egg skin. I've only had the one clutch, but those colors, it's so deep and rich in there. Gonna be super pretty as these age and color up. Pretty good rosette and back saddle count on this one too. I don't think it's quite as high as that last one, but still a very pretty little baby animal. It's gonna color up so nice. For those that like the lighter colors, man, look at the color on this one. A lot lower rosette and saddle count, but still super pretty, I believe, platinum sunfire. Look at the colors on this one. I'm gonna hang out on the little tray, see if that'll work. Cute, curious little babies. I just love the variance. Color, pattern thickness, little bit of everything, which is awesome. You're okay. It's okay. Really pretty little baby. Alright, next, look at this. This, I think, is the one that was a standout, even in the egg. Just the contrast of color we have here is beautiful. Look at that color, saturation. Got some rub on its head. It'll be okay. We'll get their first meals in, get some sheds. All that'll heal right up. But this one definitely stood out to me when I first got him. Come out here. Oops, you're okay. You're okay. Look at that color saturation on the sides. How that kind of orange starts creeping up into the brown. And as we get into the tail, I think this one will be a real showstopper with some aging, coloring up, a couple more sheds in. Really, really pretty. Of course I'm biased because they're Eve's babies, but I don't think many people could argue that these are pretty babies. Such crisp pattern. And who doesn't like handling baby snakes? I could sit and look at these for hours. I'm not allowing myself to because I don't want to stress them out, but I figure if we're gonna do it, at least capture some quick video for everybody to be able to see Eve's babies, for those that have been following along. I'll probably offer food to these guys in the next couple days. Hi, little one. Also got some really pretty color saturation. This one will color up extremely well too with age. Look at that. Beautiful sunfire. Cannot wait to see how these look. Because from what I'm seeing, Mila's first and my only clutch in 2023, they were very pretty babies. And there's no knock on them because they turned out to be beautiful animals. But holy cow. Frankly, these, sorry Mila, she can hear me, these really blow her babies out of the water. Just as far as quality, 75% dwarf super dwarf locality. They've got Kalaotoa, they've got it's 31.5% Kalaotoa, 25% Ternate, and 18.75% Jampea. I may have mixed up my numbers, but it comes out to 75 total. Really pretty animals. Love the tail in this one. Look at that. Just beautiful. This baby is the one that when I first saw it, it was one of those, oh, you shouldn't be here. And by shouldn't be here, I mean, look at these tiger stripes. There was no question whatsoever when this one came out. Look how pixelated all that black is around. And just the tiger rosettes stretched out. Look how far that reaches. You're okay. For those that like pixelation and just frankly cool, unique pattern, this one is super neat. But again, that stripe is wild. And it's got it on both sides. One's a little bit more pronounced and connected all the way, and the other side breaks just a little bit right there back into a single rosette. So this was a very pleasant surprise coming out of the egg. Super cool, aren't you? Look at those little eyes. Getting those cute little tongue flicks going. Checking everything out. Last and most certainly not least, another bright baby, super cute. This one's also got some cool color variation. That sunfire bringing out the differences. Brighter coloration. Sun tiger, excuse me. Really clean, crisp pattern. Doesn't have as thick of blacks. Still a really pretty animal. Kind of got that floating dorsal like his mama Eve does. A little bit of that egg skin still stuck on the tail. Get some moisture on that and get it off. Don't want to pull too much and hurt it, but also don't want that to stay on there and restrict blood flow. So we'll get you all squared away and taken care of. And next we're going to check out Elowen's clutch. See how they're doing. I'm going to keep this one really brief. They're still in egg skin, so they're still in the incubator. But unfortunately we're down to 3. Looks like we got one that's shed. Oh nope, just paper towel. So we swap out paper towels every day and get them fresh paper towels and water. But the deep anery of these is absolutely beautiful. Okay, slate gray, pretty thick black. And again, we're not going to mess with them hardly at all. It's just not worth disturbing them at this young age, but you're okay, baby. That one's got a little bit of a small eye on one side, which is sad, but man, look at the black on that. See if I can get the small eye to show. A little bit of a small eye, poor thing. I don't know, they didn't seem quite as strong. So we're gonna take great care of them and give them the best shot we can. And then the last one is the visual snow. Super, super pretty. I think he'll end up looking a lot like his dad, but see that tail? Its tail has been in a curlicue since it came out of the egg. And it moves, but it doesn't straighten. Someone pointed out to me in discussing this that when they develop, they're curled up like that from the tail. So that's why I think there might have been a developmental issue. First time mom, so you know, we'll just see what happens. Give them the best shot we can. Give them all the love we can, right? All right, that's all we have for this week, everybody. Thank you guys for spending your time with me. I really do enjoy sharing my animals and what they give to me, which is just an incredible sense of fulfillment. So again, I hope everybody had a wonderful and safe 4th, and I hope you're enjoying the animals as much as I am. Be good to those around you, be good to your animals, and we'll see you guys next week.